There is a life I lead in this city, hurrying to cut my teeth. I can take what I need to get by. It doesn't make it.
I haven't had a bagel in a couple of weeks, and this morning I was just craving one. So today we've got a jalapeno cheddar toasted with plain cream cheese. And for today's morning beverage, I decided not to do coffee. I decided to do peach green tea instead. I've kind of been trying to balance out my caffeine intake a little bit more from what sources I'm getting it from, and oscillating between coffee and tea.
Hold on, put me together, take me back where I belong.
Make a little cocktail with it. So I put a little bit of my moisturizer. Then I take my Summer Fridays Heavenly Drops, First Day Beauty Glow and Bronze Drops.
Hold on, put me together, take me
Moisture,
back where I
glowy,
belong.
bronzy sunscreen. I really enjoy applying my sunscreen in this form. As with all my products, I always carry it down my neck, because the neck is often overlooked. Also, I just realized I haven't told you guys the agenda for today. First, I have to give you guys backstory, and then we'll talk agenda. So yesterday, I had an awful day. Probably my worst one in a long time. It was one of those days where everything kind of just goes wrong. And usually I can keep a very calm, cool-headed approach to those and not be very reactive. But here's the big but. I'm about to start my time of the month. Now, the thing I don't think I've talked about on YouTube, but I've talked about, I think, on Instagram in the past, is I'm very, very irregular. And it's only been in maybe the last 8 months to a year that I've become more regular and my body's becoming more in sync, which is a really, really cool thing to happen. And it's been so nice to have things balance out. But with that balancing out, I've also been experiencing the most extreme of symptoms. So yesterday, I was feeling the full range of negative emotions. I was so angry, I was so sad, I was lethargic, I was unmotivated. I also was having cramps. My back was also hurting. Everything under the sun was happening, and it also did not help that my husband is currently at a conference for work in LA. He was not here to be my rock, and finally by, I don't know, like 10 p.m., a lot of the feelings and symptoms subsided, and I was able to collect myself. So I got some things done around the house, I got some work things done, and I was like, let's have tomorrow, now today, be a full 180 of that. So today we're going on a fun solo date day, and I just let myself have some fun last night, looking at Google Maps, planning a day. I'm gonna have a me day. Blue eyeliner because it's fun. I'm very excited. We're going to the museum at FIT. They have an exhibition currently on statement sleeves. Then there's a tea place in the West Village that I have been wanting to go to, and I'm gonna bring my book. I'm finally going to read Pride and Prejudice. And then I have a few other things, but I have them written on a list. Some days I like to just wander around and find things as I go. And sometimes I like to have just a few things saved in a notes app of where I can head next. I'm finally ready. It was kind of tough trying to figure out what I wanted to wear, but also would have longevity throughout the day. My accessories are where I had a little bit more fun with my funkier glasses. I showed them on Instagram, and a lot of people voted that they look like a superhero mask. Anyways, I was about to leave, and then I was really hungry. Still had some of the roast chicken that I made 2 nights ago, and then I forgot about the vegetables that I put in the cavity. So chicken and rice. It's really good that I decided to eat. I just started having cramps, and I don't think I had any Midol in my purse. So I feel like this is a good example of everything working out how it's meant to. I'm gonna eat this quick, and then I'm gonna head out because I have a bus to catch in like 20 minutes. I think one of the most easily forgotten things is how important it is to have a relationship with yourself. And that relationship, like any other, requires intentionally set aside time. I know that time is a finite resource, and time with and for ourselves is typically the first to go among the list of so many other things. But even on a small scale, a more accessible scale, when was that last time that you did something because you just wanted to? This could be wearing something pretty and fun just because you like wearing it. You could take yourself out on a little date to a museum or the library or for ice cream. I think sometimes our identity, which is so inherently tied to that relationship we have with ourselves, can really slink away from us if we don't pay attention attention and put the needed effort into building that relationship. And over the last few years, this whole concept has been one of my big priorities, and I've really noticed how big of a difference that it's made in me. The process of getting to know myself, building that relationship, and spending time with myself, and I've really loved it. And something that's really changed the way that I see this whole thing, if I zoom out and see myself as just a person, the way that you would see a sister or a friend, of course you'd want them to have fun. Of course you'd want them to experience joy and do things for themselves that they have fun with and enjoy. All this to say, I want to encourage you to spend more time with yourself at whatever scale, whether it's an entire new day or maybe 15 minutes in a park walking around admiring the sparrows in the trees. Get to know yourself, find what you really enjoy, and whenever you can, even in the little nooks and crannies, spend some time with yourself. I'd just walk around because the tea place I wanted to go to closes at 6, and I spent a little bit longer at the museum than I intended, and now it's basically 6. I think I just walked by what is Carrie Bradshaw's apartment in Sex and the City. It was the apartment. Very cool. So today has gone very differently than I imagined it would. First off, I got a bit of a later start than I intended. And then I did not know there would be a second exhibition at the FIT Museum. There was the whole one on denim, and it's so crazy how creative people are, how talented people are, how all of these different people interpreted a theme completely differently. And then there was the one on statement sleeves. I kind of spent a long time in there just looking at every single thing, geeking out, especially with the archival pieces. Those were so cool. The Balenciaga gown right at the very end, I think that was just so neat, especially because the original Balenciaga designs are so gorgeous. Cristobal Balenciaga just made such gorgeous, amazing pieces, and it's such a vast difference to what Balenciaga is known for now. But getting to see what it was and seeing all the details and all the bows on the back, and it was just so cool. By the time I got to the tea place, they would have closed in 5 minutes. So I decided to just wander around, zigzagged through the streets, and it was really nice. Honestly, more decent than I thought weather. I wouldn't say it's great weather. It's definitely not fabulous, but it's very decent. And now I've made it here, which is cool. I've always meant to come here, never have. I feel like this would be so nice in the summer. Very cool day so far, just different than what I expected it to be. But I think that's the cool thing about New York City is you really can just wander around and let the day develop as it goes. Now I think I'm just going to continue up the way toward the Whitney, and hopefully my tickets work. I'll be later getting there than my reservation. I don't know if it'll be like at Disneyland when you make a reservation. Let's say you make a reservation for 1 p.m. You can come anytime after 1 p.m. and it's totally fine. But it also could be like a dinner reservation. Be here at this time. Fingers crossed. Also fingers crossed that my footage that I just recorded was all in focus, because there's something that the camera is struggling with, and it might be my glasses. They're really throwing it off because it's saying the tree is in focus. I would like to be in focus, please. Look how pretty all of these flowers are. Fun fact, when I was 7, my younger brother was 5, we were attacked by a goose. A pet goose named Sebastian. He ran after me and my brother. He got me first, bit me on my side. I still have a scar to this day. And then he bit my brother on his nipple, and it was horrible. He was a mean goose. Quite the antithesis of silly goose. He was awful. That's my goose story. I think I want to go home. I want to be with Luna. She probably wants a dinner, and I'm ready to just hang out. But it's been a nice time out. Before I go home, I probably should do a full fit check because I have not done one today. Corduroy jacket. Thrifted this at the Rose Bowl like 4 or 5 years ago. My white dress. I wear all the time. These shoes I got in Paris. And then this is the bag I was telling you guys about, flanked with a tote bag. That's it. First thing upon arriving home, change into home clothes, jewelry off, hair up, and I usually like to swap into home glasses. Look, I made this little glasses pouch. Look how cute it turned out. These are my usual chill at home glasses. They're just nice and low profile. And Cinderella turns into another version of Cinderella.
Who's hungry for dinner? You want dinner? Can I have a pet? A dinner pet? Thank you. Let's get you dinner. Come on. Come on. Is this your favorite?
One of my favorite things ever about cats, especially Luna, is how much they like routine. And though Luna has a decent amount of dry food in her dish, Luna loves routine. And I'm currently late for the routine by about 2 hours, which I planned for. That's why I gave her extra dry food. But it's not the same. She likes the routine. She likes dinner time. You love dinner time? Yeah, she loves dinner time.
Can I have one final pet? Yeah. She's like, your hand's wet. I hate it. You just wanted the routine? You're done? Go eat.
I think she's just waiting to see what I do because she knows she can return back to her food now at any point, now that she has it. Yep, she's just sitting waiting for me.
You want to kick it? Yep, that's all she wants.
Would you guys like to see a game that Luna and I play? I ended up deciding to take not an everything shower, but an almost everything shower, like an every other thing shower. Now I'm trying to decide what I want to do for dinner because I had 2 plans. My first idea was to go to my favorite halal cart and pick something up on the way home. Then I realized the time. I can't have it too late into the evening because I really like it spicy. It's so delicious, but then I end up waking up in the middle of the night feeling so hot and just uncomfy. I gotta keep my halal cart consumption to like 6 p.m. and prior. And then my backup idea was to make one of my go-to meals, which is a rosemary shallot orzo. But I'm out of Parmesan. Parmesan is integral to the dish. And now being done with my shower, it's 10. How much did I walk today? 12,000 steps today. My body and soul definitely needed it. I think my body, after being home for the last 2 or 3 days, was just feeling really restless. Let me look at this pizza place. I got pizza from there recently and I loved it. Ooh, it says they're not too busy. Are you accepting takeout orders? I figure since I was very cost effective today by doing 2 free things, I guess technically 3 if you count sitting by the waterfront, and then only taking public transportation today, which I think I took 3 times, $9 for a day out and about. I think I'm gonna treat myself to takeout. Okay. Yay. I just remembered, I didn't tell you guys what I overheard someone say on the roof deck of the Whitney. So there's this gorgeous outlook that overlooks the city. You've got the Empire State Building in the distance, and it's just gorgeous, right? And people are taking pictures and people are enjoying the view. People are standing there like they're on dates and just chatting. And there's this couple who comes up from, there's a bar kind of further in the back, and the girl says something to the effect of, oh, all these people taking pictures. And the guy's like, yeah, I know. You want to get out of here? And she goes, kind of gesturing to the view. Yeah, it's all just so manufactured. And the guy's like, yeah, I totally know what you mean. And I was like, what? To speak at it with such like a lofty attitude and looking down and being like, oh my gosh, this is so corny and contrived. You sound so absurd. I just had to tell you guys about it because it was just so silly. I'm definitely glad I went. I do not think that contemporary art is really, for the most part, something that resonates with me. I did enjoy seeing it, but I don't feel like I really connected. I could appreciate a lot of the artistry and I could appreciate a lot of what it was, especially the scale of some of the things. Like some of the installations were really big productions, but it's not really a genre of art that often connects with me.
Sad moment of the day. My pizza is a little bit burnt, a little crispy.
Still will probably be very good. This is the best chocolate to use for this. This peanut butter is almost out, but I'm hoping that it's the exact right amount. I have Gilmore Girls on in the background because I didn't pause it before I started doing this, and now I'm just like kind of listening. It's at the point where Paris is going crazy at the Yale Daily News. But if you have watched Gilmore Girls, who is your favorite of the boyfriends? Oh, I think this is actually going to be perfect. Lucky, lucky me. Take a gander.